So what happened was King Frederick II unfortunately passed away. I don't know for what particular reason. 1588. Okay, 1588 he died, and at that point of time, his son Christian the Fourth, Christian, there's an I there. Christian the Fourth took over, and while Christian the Fourth also respected Tycho de Brahe a lot and supported Tycho's work for a few more years, because you note down that it was only about 16 years after the De Nova Stella that King Frederick died. So probably for another 4 years or so, Christian did support the work that was happening at the Uraniborg Observatory. But unfortunately, what happened was that while Tycho de Brahe was an amazing astronomer and a great host um, and a great party goer, he was a very bad administrator. So, if you remember, the entire island was given to him for his administration, right? And it was a fairly big island with a lot of tenant farmers who also lived on the island who would do the agricultural task. But unfortunately, um, these tenant farmers, as it was common in those days, were treated very badly, were harassed by people who oversaw the agricultural work on the island, not directly by Tycho de Brahe. And Tycho was hardly ever interested in these affairs, so he only did what his advisors told him to do. Most likely, I am just adding that in. And because of this, complaints started reaching Christian IV from the farmers that he was not being a good administrator of the land. Now, King Christian, being a very young king, wrote to the great grand astronomer Tycho de Brahe, probably asking him to explain himself. Why is it that these complaints are coming? That some observations are there of this kind. To which Tycho did not take very kindly. So he said, "Who is this young whippersnapper asking me these questions? My father saved his father from drowning. If not for me, blah blah blah." You understand? So his ego kind of got in the way, so to say. And as a result of this, there was a falling out between King Christian IV and Tycho de Brahe. I don't think there is any historical evidence to suggest that Christian IV asked Tycho de Brahe to leave the country, but Tycho himself seemed to have taken it upon to his mind that he would now like to leave the country, Holland, and travel to elsewhere, because somewhere he felt that the king was not being supportive enough of his task, and he felt that since he was such a great astronomer and he had so much skill in astronomy, anybody would be happy to have it. That was actually a fact that there are other emperors who would have been happy to have and happy to have supported the work of Tycho de Brahe. But the long and the short of it is basically he left Holland, never to return. Okay, so he wandered around over there in different countries, traveling to different countries at that point of time, and he eventually landed up in Prague. Uh, I'll write it down over here. Okay,
and which year?
Prague, which year he landed up in Prague? Somewhere around the year 1599, I think. Around 1599. So I say circa 1599. Okay, and the king over there, of course, was most happy to have the great Tycho de Brahe as part of his court. So he also gave him an astronomical observatory, the Royal Astronomical Observatory, uh, and appointed him as the chief astronomer.
Or
Sorry?
he went to Prague at 1600.
Around 1599. So I write circa
No, sir.
1599. Circa means
Precisely.
around the time.
Okay.
Okay, so this was the the story of Tycho de Brahe. So we have come very close to the point where they meet. Like I told you, they met in 1600. So meanwhile, what was happening in the life of the other great character, right? Uh, Johannes Kepler. So Kepler was not having a great time, having made up all his fanciful theories. Nothing much was working out for him. There was one important thing that I failed to mention until now was that Kepler belonged to a sect of Christianity called the Lutherans. Okay, and you can look up what Lutherans mean. It came from an religious reformer called Martin Luther.
Were they people who followed Martin Luther's principles?
Yes, no, this is not Martin Luther King, the Black Rights Movement person.
Yeah, the guy who rebelled against the church, right?
This was the Martin Luther who rebelled against the church, right? So
The
this
protests.
this was in the 16th century. Okay, so Kepler belonged to the Lutheran sect. So he belonged to that particular sect of Christianity. And what happened at around the end of the 16th century was that the Lutherans were persecuted. Okay, because the Lutherans kind of went against the ideas of Christianity. You can look up what is the difference between Lutherans and uh, the Protestants. See, Christianity itself is divided into Roman Catholics and Protestants. Okay? And Protestantism broke up into Lutherans. So there is a history over there. I won't go into it because it will take too much time and it's too complicated, the story. But basically, he was a Lutheran and he was persecuted. And at that point of time, where he was working in Graz, if you remember, right? I had given you the place. I think it's part of modern Germany now. But the Prussian king over there, he wanted to remove all Lutherans from his land. You could say that it was more or less like a genocidal act at that point of time. But for a long time, Mestelin somehow protected Kepler from the activities that were going on against the Lutherans. But uh, towards the end of the 16th century, probably like around 1596, 1595, the action against the Lutherans started becoming more and more severe. And at one point of time, Kepler was told by the government that he'd have to leave Germany immediately, otherwise he would be persecuted, put in jail, and perhaps executed because he was a Lutheran. And Kepler at that time had to escape from Germany, and he also landed up in Prague after various incidents. But I won't go into all those things. So the big meeting between Kepler and Tycho de Brahe happened in 1600. Okay, in a town called Benatek. Now, it's 4th February 1600.
Sir,
Yeah.
so they took actions against the Lutherans because they went against the church, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they met on this day.
Sorry?
They met on this day.
Yes, they met in 4th February 1600. Why is the year 1600 also significant for us over here in India in terms of the history?
So I think Mughal rule ended. Not sure.
And
Oh, yaar.
not Mughal rule did not end there, because 1847, the revolt that took place, Bahadur Shah Zafar was still there as the ruler.
Trade with East India Company, like they came and started conquer.
Akbar died in 1605.
1605, but the
Yeah.
East India Company first set foot in India in the year 1600. They traveled, they landed in Bengal, I think. They set up their first company in Calcutta, and after a few years, they landed up in Delhi to meet the emperor, and therefore changed the entire history of the subcontinent, so to say. But anyway, so around that time when the East India Company was making its way to the Indian subcontinent, uh, Tycho and Kepler met for the first time, and the meeting didn't go off very well, because Kepler was a nobody, and Tycho on the other hand was everybody. Okay, and therefore there really was not much that Tycho took notice of in Kepler, whereas Kepler was of course overawed. Kepler at this point of time had no work, had no source of income, was away from his family, was escaping persecution, and he desperately wanted a job. And so therefore he attempted to write to Tycho and ask him if he could work in his esteemed observatory. And he gave an account of himself. So this is what I have done, this is what I have studied. I have the support of Westerlin, etc., etc. Okay, and Tycho could not be bothered by this application from a nobody, a poor little nobody who was just a mathematics teacher in a small college. But Kepler was not a man to let go. So he had arranged for a meeting. There was another person called Ursus. So Kepler, Ursus, and Tycho, there is a small incident that took place. Ursus was actually a rival for Tycho as an astronomer, and he wrote something in which he badmouthed Tycho kind of, and Kepler had written a review of that book in which he praised Ursus. Tycho was very unhappy about this. Then Kepler got scared. He wrote to Tycho and apologized that he did not intend to, praise Ursus at the cost of Tycho. Blah blah blah. A lot of misunderstanding happened. Actually, it seemed like the whole thing would have ended in disaster, with Tycho not giving a minute of his life's time to Kepler. Okay, but fortunately for us, the whole misunderstanding got sorted out. Kepler apologized profusely to Tycho. Those letters are apparently available. And finally, Tycho, who had his own issues, basically what happened was that Tycho's calculations, collecting data was one thing. Okay, putting all this data together in terms of geometry and arithmetic and working out what the actual orbit of the planets were like was a task that Tycho was having great difficulty completing. So it was not as if he himself would do this task. He had a kind of a team of astronomers and mathematicians working under him, and he had divided each one of them into small groups. So there was a group of astronomers who were working on the moon's motion. There was a group of astronomers who were working on Venus's motion. And there was a group of astronomers who were working in the most difficult task, which is calculating the orbit of Mars. Okay, and work progress was extremely slow. Okay, and Tycho felt that Kepler eventually was somebody who was quite capable as a mathematician and had sufficient capacity to do the work. So finally, Tycho agreed to bring Kepler in and gave him the most difficult task. He told him that you would have to work on the orbit of Mars, and whoever is working on the orbit of Mars, he shifted him to Moon, and the person who was working in Moon, who was actually his own son, he shifted him to another position. So, his son was working with him, Tycho's son was working with him, Tycho's son-in-law was working with him. So, it was kind of like family was also there. Like I told you, they didn't bother much with things like, what is that term I used? You remember? When you put your own relatives position, into work for something that did not belong to you. So those kinds of issues didn't bother people at that point of time. So they continued with this work. And then the event took place, the famous event took place. Everybody knows Tycho de Brahe for this particular incident. The death of Tycho de Brahe happened. Does anybody know the story? How that happened? Okay, so the story goes that Tycho, being a great, lover of food and drink, would often go for parties, being invited by other big people in Prague. Okay, and Prague was like an amazing place. He called it the Venice where is Prague? Yeah? I forget now. Which country?
Czech Republic.
Huh?
The Czech.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Czech
The
Republic.
capital, I think.
Yeah, Czech Republic, the capital of Czech Republic. Prague is very famous for its mathematicians. Huh? Czech mathematicians were like a big deal at one point of time. Anyways, so he used to call it the Venice of that particular empire at that point. I don't know what they call the empire at that time. Anyways, so great banquets, great feasts would happen all the time, and our man was like a big fan of food and drink. So apparently he went to a big party called by some very senior official, and he ate and drank so much that his bladder got full. Now the problem was that it was considered impolite, and it was probably something to do with the fact that at that time they did not have closeted toilets, so what they called as closets, which means that bathrooms inside the house. They probably had to go somewhere outside the house to pee, and it was considered impolite in aristocratic company to excuse yourself in a meal to urinate. This is what is being said. We do not know the facts of it. Maybe he just felt lazy to do it and he was just sitting there. Maybe the talk was very interesting. Maybe the food was very interesting. Maybe he didn't want to miss something. I don't know what. But apparently he held his bladder for too long a time. And the popular story goes that his bladder burst every time. Your bladder cannot burst. Okay. Before all that happens, the urine will kind of leak out. Right. So there's no bursting of bladder that is possible. What happened, it seems, was that he held his urine for too long and then probably urinated afterwards after the party was over or whatever. He came back home, but it seems that he had contracted some kind of an urinary tract infection. That infection blew out of proportion and spread to the rest of his body, and within a few days, Tycho Brahe breathed his last. Now, this became something very, very lucky for Kepler, and even though Tycho's son-in-law and son were both part of the team that ran the observatory, they correctly identified Kepler to be the most capable of the astronomers among them, and somehow Kepler got catapulted to the position of the chief astronomer. And with that single death, data of more than 20 years, an entire team of astronomers and mathematicians, along with a lot of money and a whole observatory and the support of a king, everything came to Kepler in one stroke. Something that eluded Kepler his entire life fell into his lap just in one stroke. Okay, and the rest, as we say, is history. Kepler basically, there is some noise coming, background noise coming. Somebody will have to mute themselves.
Rohani mute.
Okay, I did. Sorry, I did. Thank you. So, as a result of that, Kepler got into the position. He apparently boasted that he would complete the work of setting the orbit of the planet Mars in 8 weeks, and also bet some money about it on it with somebody. It took him 8 years to complete the task, but in good time, Kepler completed the task and came to his astounding conclusions about Kepler's laws, what came to be called later as Kepler's laws of planetary motion. And what those laws are,
I think it's time.
and what is the significance of those laws, that we will come to at the end of this year's course, when we complete the whole process of looking at what happened after that with Galileo and Newton, At the end of that process, we will come back to Kepler's laws of planetary motion, and then the story will be complete. So I'll stop here. I've kind of completed whatever I wanted to say about the history of astronomy. So
Bye.
if you have any questions, then you
Bye,
can
sir.
ask. Adil, are you available